Well, good morning, everybody. It's exciting to see some friendly faces in the room, and yeah, thanks for getting up early this morning for me. I'm excited to talk to you about unlocking mainstream adoption through hybrid custody, which is a feature that's going to be relevant to everybody in the room, no matter what blockchain you're building on, because of ERC 4337, which starts to bring some of these capabilities to Ethereum and all of the associated sort of EVM chains, but has been live since the beginning on Flow. And actually, I'm excited to show you some demonstrations about what's possible when you apply it to the user experience of mainstream applications, especially mobile applications. Before I get into it, who are we, who am I, who is Dapper Labs? You might not know this, but we're actually Ethereum OGs. We wrote the original non-fungible token standard back in 2017 and launched the first NFT game, CryptoKitties, at the first ETH Global event back in ETH Waterloo almost 6 years ago. And since then, we spent a couple of years building on Ethereum. We built the first smart contract wallet that's aimed towards consumers on Ethereum, tried to do key recovery make key recovery easy, pay for gas, integrate credit cards on mobile, integrate credit cards for NFT purchasing. And more recently, we sort of pivoted to building our own blockchain, Flow.com, which we launched in May of 2020. And a few months later, in the heart of COVID, launched NBA Top Shot on top of it. NBA Top Shot was the first NFT to reach $100 million in trading volume. Today, it's at about $1.1 billion in secondary market trading volume. And it's also the first NFT to start the path of going mainstream. You were about 600, 700,000 NFT holders across the ecosystem. But as I'm about to explain, that's just the start, and the major unlocks are coming this year. Since we launched the network, I want to make clear, Flow has become far bigger than Dapper Labs. It's about 20 million user accounts, almost 400 million transactions now, and almost all of them are NFT transactions. So there's very little DeFi on Flow yet, although there are some very enterprising entrepreneurs and interesting projects starting up. The one thing that connects all of these applications is that they're aimed at mainstream consumers. And so we've been thinking about this problem for quite some time. And I can very confidently tell you there is no mainstream adoption without mobile. And there is no mobile adoption without hybrid custody, which is what I want to talk about today. We think mobile is the next frontier for Web3 adoption. Mobile is the next frontier for our own products with NBA Top Shot, NFL All Day, and others across the Flow network. And the unlock to making mobile easy to use and as viral as we want it to be is hybrid custody. The reason is today, all developers have to make a trade-off. Do we push users through the path of self-custody, which is impossibly difficult, or do we push users through a path that is easy but actually takes away some of the benefits of Web3 in the first place? You'll all be familiar with these sorts of screens because every one of us has set up crypto wallets in the past. But when it comes to mainstream users that don't have a wallet installed, this is a blocker that it's not 99% drop-off, it's 99.9% drop-off. And it's not a solution that's going to go mainstream. But the problem is, if you onboard users just with email password, you actually break composability, and you end up with application sandboxes that can't speak to each other and actually take away most of the benefits of Web3 in the first place. This is just a summary of app custody versus self-custody. So the question isn't how do we create easy-to-use experiences for consumers. The question is how do we create easy-to-use experiences that also allow consumers and developers to benefit from the unique things that Web3 accomplishes. And that until today hasn't been super easy. There's two parts to the solution. Part one is walletless onboarding. And what I mean by that is if a user comes to the product, they want to use the product. They don't want to jump around and set up a separate application, set up a separate wallet. And so make it very straightforward and easy for them, either through guest checkout solution, where you just use credit cards and give the user the NFT directly in a mobile wallet, in a wallet that's controlled by their email address, or a familiar Web2 login, Facebook, Google, et cetera. This part of the solution, most of you will be familiar with because it's already possible through kind of application custody or semi-custodial solutions. But the second part of the solution is hybrid custody, and this is where things get taken to the next level, because you can provide the same excellent onboarding, the same seamless experience that every consumer is used to on mobile or in Web 2, while still preserving the composability and the developer experience of actually being able to build on top of these wallets. The path through doing that is through account migration via account delegation. So the way it works is a user would set up a Web 2 identity, whether it's email address or password, or through Facebook, or one day centralized identities that they already have, such as Google, Netflix ID, Disney, whatever it might be. And that actually gives them a child account. That gives them a wallet that's on-chain with NFTs that sit on-chain that can be read by any on-chain tool, but it's secured through their username password. And what they do is they delegate control of that account to a parent wallet that can be a fully self-custodial wallet, or it can be a wallet that's secured through multi-factor authentication, whatever it might be. And what that means is that parent wallet now has full control of the application. And you actually end up in a situation that mirrors how permissions work on your mobile device. Each application has full control over the assets inside that application, but needs to ask permission from the operating system, or in this case, in the wallet case, from the parent wallet, in order to access anything outside of its sandbox. And the user can eventually set very fine-grained controls on what an application can or cannot do with their assets. What that means on the back end is that the user can onboard seamlessly into a Web 2 product, but then be able to use their blockchain wallet to access any Web 3 product without transferring their assets, without changing their public wallet address, without doing anything other than cycling their keys and actually setting up a Web 3 identity after they've already onboarded into the product that they're excited about. And so hybrid custody, and I'll go through a demo that actually shows this in action. Hybrid custody eliminates the need to have a separate wallet to get started. It eliminates the need to switch back and forth every time you're signing transactions inside a mobile application. The only other way to do it would be to delegate the entirety of the control of your wallet into the mobile application, which is a huge security hole. And actually lets developers leverage any payment method, whether it's IAP, Apple Pay, whatever it might be, and lets users have fine-grained control over their assets and not have to give up using anything in the world of Web 3. Full composability, full interoperability, easy onboarding. And so compared to application custody, as I mentioned, it means that user has full control over the assets, can take them anywhere they want, no transfer required. And if they set up a self-custody wallet, they can actually take full control over an account that was created using a Web 2 identity. We just hosted a hackathon recently. 40% of the submissions leveraged this mechanism, and everybody that used it, it sort of lit a bulb in their minds, because they realized this is the true path to mainstream adoption. It's make it easy for people to come in, but give them access to all of the benefits, and make it easy for developers not have to distinguish, am I building for a centralized ecosystem or a decentralized ecosystem? Build it once, run it everywhere, and let the user have the choice of what software they want to use to experience it. So I was warned that the video might not load, so what we did was we actually took some screenshots of this demo. But you can try it yourself, flw.gg/hybrid. That'll take you to the demo application. There's full sample code set up, and actually, this is to my knowledge, the only demonstration of what is, account abstraction, hybrid custody at work. But let's walk through it slide by slide. This is a rock, paper, scissors game. Those of you who've played Cheese Wizards understand the sort of inspiration here and what it kind of might mean in the future. I'm looking at you, Oxo. But let's get started. So here in the demo, it starts with Google authentication. It doesn't actually have to. You can skip directly to the transaction screen and do a guest checkout. Put in your credit card information. You can use Stripe test accounts, et cetera. And you get the account, you get thrown into the game. So one step, you have an NFT, you started playing the game, and this is rock, paper, scissors, as I mentioned. I'm going to choose rock because that's obviously the strongest. and turns out I won the game. I actually had to play a bunch of times to get this screen, but that's I guess testing life. So when you win the game, the app gives you 10 credits, 10 tickets, which are fungible tokens that sit inside the app custodial wallet that was created for you when you logged in via the Google sign-in. And you can click on this link and go check it out in the any block explorer, flow view. In the case of Ethereum, it would be Etherscan, et cetera. But the point for the user is, now that I'm onboarded, now that I'm activated, I've actually won something, I have an incentive to connect my wallet, whether it's to sell the thing I just won or to access new products and services that thing enables. So in this case, I hit settings, I hit connect my Flow wallet. These are 3 non-custodial wallet options on Flow today. I sign in, et cetera. And what happens is the app account just gave permissions over all of its assets to the parent wallet. And so the application can still control and let you play the game seamlessly without having to jump back and forth and sign transactions. But you now also have control of the assets inside it from your main Web3 wallet, in this case, a non-custodial wallet. And so I can go to an entirely different website, a marketplace, and in this case, log in with my Web3 account and have access to all of the assets within that marketplace. And the distinction here is you don't log into the marketplace with your Web2 account. There's no Google login here. It's a full Web3 login, but it has access to all of the assets inside. So like I said, you can go check out the experience yourself, flw.gg/hybrid. And obviously follow Flow, and you can join our community to try these tools and platforms and services out in production right now. And I think this is what we get really excited about. And let me in the couple minutes that I have left, just highlight this is as important an onboarding and user experience issue as for new users as it is a security, safety, and sustainability question for existing users. Because the parent wallet, because of account abstraction, an experienced user can add multi-factor security to it, can be able to put fine-grained controls of what applications can or cannot do with their products, can actually use the secure enclave to store some of their keys and do key signing securely. And it's together, the whole package is how Web3 can go mainstream. So thank you, everybody, for coming this morning. I hope this helped catalyze some ideas. You can go check out the demo today on Flow, and I'm excited to see what everybody will build. Thank you so much.